Alrighty guys, welcome back for another Dokkan Battle video, and today we're going to be looking at everything that dropped last night for Global Dokkan as well as JP Dokkan. So, before we hop it right in, the thing that I wanted to say is unfortunately I will not be able to live stream the Dokkan now. That is today because I have work from like 5:30 to like 9:30 and it starts at 6. So I can't stream it, man. It sucks so badly, but it is what it is. Alright, so we're going to be talking about this Sin Shenron, who's going to be getting a sub EZA, again, before his Extreme Z Awakening. Or not Extreme Z, but before his, Extreme Z Awakening. He really didn't do much. All he had was 80% attack. He lowered defense, and then he greatly lowers defense, but again, greatly lowering defense doesn't really do a whole lot to the unit, but again, you know, now with this EZA, he's actually going to be a fairly decent unit. In fact, I would go as far as to call him an extremely good defensive unit. The reason for that is because if we take a quick look at his passive, he gets 100% attack and defense at the start of turn, which on paper doesn't look very, very good. But if you go ahead and you take a look at his stats when he gets his EZA, he's going to have 13,496 defense. And again, this Sin Shenron has got to have one of the highest defensive stats for a regular just card, because he's not a Dokkan Fest, he's not, you know, a banner unit, he's just a card that they released. So again, the fact that he gets 100% defense with 13,496 like defensive stat, that means his, you know, defensive stat realistically on a 170% led team is gonna, for me just doing the math, gonna be at around maybe like 130,000, 140,000 just in and of itself. So again, this Sin Shenron is gonna be a very, very good defensive unit. And also on his super attack, he also raises attack and defense for one turn. That with this high defense, 100% defense at the start of turn, this Sin Shenron is just going to be a very, very good defensive unit. And then he also lowers enemies' defense, but again, this is basically meaningless, so it's really not going to be that, you know, important to the unit. And then he also gets additional defense and a chance of performing a critical hit plus 7% per GT Boss's category ally on the team. So again, this is basically telling us and giving us a preview that, you know, obviously during the Dokkan Now livestream, in my opinion, they're gonna show us the new like GT Bosses LR that's gonna lead the category, because again, they already you know, gave the awakening to Metal Rildo, and Metal Rildo is all about GT Bosses. We have this LR Shenron right here, or not Shenron, but Shadow Dragons, and guess what? They support GT Bosses. So very, very clearly, they're trying to set us up to, you know, release a really good new LR that's going to lead GT Bosses, because this guy is a decent leader, you know, 3 key 130% to stats, but again, they're probably going to want a really, really like true leader. And, you know, of the 3, you know, main bosses of GT, Baby, Super 17, and then Omega Shenron, you know, we honestly don't know which of the 3 it could be, because in Explosive Chain Battle, we have the sprites for Baby, so, you know, everybody's been saying Baby's going to be the LR. Now we have this Sin Shenron, who could lead to the Dokkan Fest physical Omega Shenron to get an EZA, and then he could be the sub EZA, and then they could release a new LR, you know, Omega Shenron. So again, there's that possibility because of his EZA, and then there's also this. So this is going to be a new support type memory that's going to be added to the Super 17 story event. So guess what? Super 17 could also be a possibility for this new LR. So again, there's a lot of new things that are coming out, and they all point to Baby, Super 17, or Omega Shenron. So, you know, it's really kind of like in the air on who it could be. But personally for me, I would want a new Super 17. A new Omega Shenron wouldn't be a bad idea either, but I would honestly rather prefer them to save Omega Shenron for like a dual Dokkan Fest, like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and then Omega Shenron, something like that. But again, and then obviously Baby with the new sprites, he could introduce the revival mechanic, you know, so there's just a ton of things that they could do. So anyways, again, He's going to be able to get a total of 42% extra defense, because again, if you run him on a full GT bosses category team, there's going to be 6 GT bosses, or like, no, 5 other allies excluding himself. So you could get a total of 35% extra defense and a 35% chance to perform a critical hit, which is going to be very good. And then he performs a guaranteed crit with 7 or more key spheres obtained. This part of his passive is probably the worst, because again, getting 7 or more key spheres is going to be pretty difficult, considering that on the GT bosses category team, there really isn't a super good, you know, like orb changing unit, so that might be a little difficult to, you know, go ahead and do. And then his link set is also extremely good, but also kind of bad at the same time, because he only has 6 links: Brutal Beatdown, Fear and Faith, Big Bad Bosses, GT, Shadow Dragons, and Fierce Battle. Unfortunately, for some reason, that they didn't decide to give him a 7th link, so that is going to be a bit of a bummer. But he does make up for it in having a super good link set, because if we take out Big Bad Bosses and you know, an extra 25% attack and defense, GT is going to be an extra 2 key 10% attack and defense. Shadow Dragons is going to be 20% attack and defense. And then with this guy that I just pulled up, you could absolutely run these two as a rotation, because again, they're going to share Brutal Beatdown, Fear and Faith, GT, and Shadow Dragons and Big Bad Bosses. The only link these two are not going to share is Fierce Battle, because Fierce Battle is usually saved for summonable units, while of course this LR Shadow Dragon army is actually a free-to-play unit, so that's why he doesn't have Fierce Battle. So again, you could get this completely free-to-play. Say when this comes out on Global, you buy a copy of him, you EZA the Sin Shenron, you can run those two as a rotation on the GT Bosses category, which of course he leads. So, you know, it's going to be very, very good when this guy comes out. Again, they're going to work super well together, and honestly, I would start link grinding this guy if you do have him. I unfortunately don't have him, so I'm not really going to link grind him. But again, getting these 3 links is probably the most important if you do decide to go ahead and link grind this guy. Alright, the next thing we have is the V-Jump scans. Now, I was greatly surprised by this, the fact that we're finally going to be getting a new Garlic Jr., and probably the only Garlic Jr. ever to release in Dokkan, because if we go ahead and we search up Garlic Jr., because his name starts with a G, Garlic Jr., he's literally not here, like, because it's GA, so this is in alphabetical order. Garlic Jr. is not in Dokkan at all. Like, look, he's not in here. So the fact that we're finally going to be able to get a new Garlic Jr., I mean, he is going to be technically new, but you know, we've never had a Garlic Jr. in the game before, so this is going to be very, very good. Again, so this form of Garlic Jr., for those of you who don't know, because again, his movie wasn't really talked about all that much, and he did have a saga in, you know, OG Dragon Ball, but no one really talks about him. Again, this form of Garlic Jr. is what I would consider like his final form. So this is like after he makes his wish to Shenron, and he actually does become immortal. So he's one of the few villains that actually like completes what he set out to do. So he does become immortal, and this is kind of like his final form. And then of course this is his original form right here before he makes the wish. So again, we're gonna be getting a Garlic Jr. It's still unsure if it's gonna be a Dokkan Fest or just a regular banner unit, because it doesn't outright specifically say, hey, there's gonna be this new Dokkan Fest coming to, say, JP Dokkan. It just says, hey, there's gonna be a new Garlic Jr. that's gonna be able to be Dokkan Awakened into, you know, said final form. So until we explicitly are told that it's a Dokkan Fest, we just know that there's gonna be a new Garlic Jr. coming out. And then we're also going to be getting some new stages for Super Battle Road. This is going to be the new reward card, this LR, Trunks, and Bulma. If we take a look at the original artwork, again, it's going to be Trunks, Bulma, and then, of course, Baby Trunks right here. This is obviously future Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, when he basically comes back and he's, like, warning them about the fact that Goku's going to get the heart disease and the androids. So there's that as well. And then we also have some JP, you know, V-Jump links. For JP Dokkan, of course, we know that it's going to be a Garlic Jr., new LR Trunks, new Super Battle Road stages, and then for Legends, it's going to be free-to-play Spirit Bomb Goku Awakens Zenkai, so he's going to get a new Zenkai Awakening. Of course, they're going to make him free-to-play. And then unique abilities to restore energy and increase damage when it appears on the field. So basically just like a little preview, but he's going to be getting a Zenkai, of course, because, you know, they can't stop spamming Zenkais at us. And then, of course, I already talked about this, but the new support type memory that's going to be coming to the Super 17 story event. You know, there it is. It's when Dende and Piccolo make a portal together, use their mind connection or something, because it's been a while since I've seen GT, but I do remember this, where they connect like their mind powers, and then like they create a portal for Goku to, you know, go in and out of hell of. So, you know, that's basically that right there. And then I did want to talk about the Super Battle Road stages, because currently we have up until Final Trump card, we've done Super Saiyans, Youth, Vegeta family, Goku's family. So the stages that I presume could probably get their new, you know, stages for Super Battle Road is going to be Dragon Ball Saga. But again, we'll see, because again, Dragon Ball Saga is probably going to be one that's going to be very difficult to complete, because if we actually take a look at Dragon Ball Saga, the leader is a very good unit. Again, this Kid Goku is still very, very good. This Master Roshi is also extremely impressive, but again, once he does one super attack, he's basically fodder after that point. I mean, actually, now taking a look at it, it might be doable, because you do have this Demon King Piccolo, you do have the Bulma, and the Kid Goku, you do have this Goku no Raleigh. I mean, we don't have these awakenings yet, you know, this Grandpa Gohan one and this Android 8 one, but if they do release it, of course, it's going to be on JP first, because, you know, V-Jump scans. I do think that the Dragon Ball Saga one is doable, but it is going to be a very, very hard no item run if you decide to do that, you know, specifically talking about Truth here. Alright, so of course Dragon Ball Saga could absolutely get their Super Battle Road stage. Siblings Bond, actually no, I think Siblings Bond already has one. Let me check, because I actually don't think that they do. Yeah, I don't think Siblings Bond has one. Alright, so there you go. Siblings Bond could get one. Worthy Rivals, Android / Cell Saga, the Kamehameha, Bond of Master and Disciple, Terrifying Conquerors, I'm pretty sure already has one. And so does, actually, Bond of Master and Disciple doesn't have one. They could do Super Saiyan 2, Exploding Rage, Revenge, because again, these are all, you know, the more newer categories in the game, so they could absolutely do Super Battle Road stages for them. But the ones that I think that might come is because of the GT Legendary Goku event. You know, they did Connected Hopes, Corroded Body and Mind, and Space Traveling Warriors. I think these guys might actually be up for their Super Battle Road stages. They might do, you know, like these three categories: Power Absorption, Battle of Wits, Saviors, you know, categories like that. But again, there are honestly a ton of categories, as you guys can see. There are so many that still need them. Otherworld Warriors, Target Goku, Dragon Ball Heroes. So again, there is just a huge plethora of categories that they could do. But again, I honestly do hope that it's more of like the newer categories as well. So like things like Earthlings or like Majin Power, Rapid Growth, you know, categories like that. So anyways, guys, I think that is going to do it for today's video. Again, we basically went over everything. You know, the biggest thing here is the fact that Garlic Jr. is going to be getting a Dokkan Fest. Well, I mean, he's not going to be getting a Dokkan Fest, but honestly, basically at this point, it's kind of like confirmed, because, you know, they really only show Dokkan Fest characters in V-Jump, unless they're like the free-to-play, you know, LR for the Super Battle Road stages, which, you know, is basically a different thing, but essentially, they usually show Dokkan Fest units in V-Jump. But again, if, you know, Garlic Jr. does get a Dokkan Fest, that's going to bode extremely well for the health of the game, because to me, this shows that they're willing to do a Dokkan Fest for anyone. And honestly, Garlic Jr. really needed it, because he has been severely underrated in this game. Again, because Garlic Jr. is actually a very good villain, you know? Like, he actually completes what he said. You know, one of the very few villains that actually can say that, hey, I set out to do what I wanted to do, and I did it. And Garlic Jr. did. He got his wish. He was immortal. I don't remember how they defeated him, because again, it's been so long since I've seen it. But again, he does eventually get defeated by like Goku, Gohan, and I also believe Piccolo, because Garlic Jr. actually is a Namekian. So finally having like another Namekian villain in the game is going to be really, really nice. You know, besides obviously Jr. and then Demon King Piccolo. So anyways, guys, that is going to do it for today's video, and I will see you all next time.
The name of this one is Rosé. power of legendary Super Saiyan Goku. Now I understand!